a lot of the extreme honing that is done with straight razors is improved by a lot of small details. So if you can take each of those variables and decrease those variables, you'll find that your end result will be much better. So this protractor is no longer made by Starrett, but I find mine in junk stores and tool stores. Most people don't know what they are. They think it's broken because they think there should be more to it, because this little button here, which is flat on one side, it's like a half moon shape, turns. And it turns for a very specific reason, and I'll show you why. The other half of the measuring tool is this protractor. And well, it's called a leg bevel in the Starrett catalog. This is the, I fucked this up, Joe.
Yep, that's fine. Just back it up to the where you picked that up.
So this is a dogleg angle finder that is still being made, I believe, in the Starrett catalog. And it's used in combination with the protractor so that you can find the angle. And I'll show you how I do that. So there's an adjustment knob here, and it makes it looser or tighter. And you get it so that it's just at an angle just like that. And you put the straight razor in, and you just gently push it so that it's touching the spine on both sides. Just tighten it a tad. And then put it here. Take this leg here to 0, and what we find is that this particular razor is about 25 degrees, and that's pretty big angle for a razor. It is a 6/8, but that doesn't really matter as much. And by the way, I've never seen these Walter Eigenbrods for sale anywhere. There was a stock of about 40 of them some guy found 20 years ago, and I bought one because it was just a beautiful razor. But when you get that angle should not change along the length, the 3-inch length of the blade. So that's your angle, and that's what you've got to deal with. Now, for my beard and my face, that angle works really well. I have measured a couple of hundred razors at least, and I have seen them go everywhere from 16 degrees up to 25, 26 degrees. They just vary, and what that is a decision by the engineer or the engineering team that designed the razor to make it that angle because they feel that it gets the best results. Now, there are all kinds of other razors, as you know, and those razors will all be different. This now touches on an important part, I feel it's important, of a discussion that's ongoing in the straight razor community, which is that, do I tape the spine? Do I put a piece of tape on the spine, or 2 pieces of tape, or 3 pieces of tape, and then sharpen the razor that way? And there are a lot of people who really believe in taping, and various reasons are given for it. The most common reason is they don't want the spine to wear down. Now, when they design razors, what they're doing is they know that the spine will wear down as the edge wears back over time. and it wears back at an equal rate. This is why the spine should be the same hardness as the edge, so that they both wear back at the same time, and that'll maintain the overall angle. Consequently, I don't tape straight razors because they're not designed to be maintained like that. And some people say, oh, well, it makes a flat spot on the spine. Yes, that's true. It makes a flat spot on the spine, and that's part of how the tool ages as it's used. The other part, and this is the part that I really don't like about taping, is that you're changing the overall angle. Now, does it change it much? Not to the naked eye, but when I look at it under the microscope, I can see a black line right down the edge of the razor, and that's because the edge of the razor is at a different angle than the side of the razor. And usually, when I'm sharpening those razors, it's because the owner said to me, you know, I keep sending this out to get sharpened, but it's not giving me a good shave, and it's not lasting very long. And the reason I think for that is that when you tape, what you're really doing is you're making a micro bevel. Now, I know in some parts of the sharpening community, particularly the woodworking community, micro bevels are held in great esteem. I don't like them. Why don't I like them? I don't like them because it's a very, it's an edge that doesn't last very long because it's very narrow. It's an apex that comes on top of another, at the end of another apex. It doesn't last long. It may shave well, but it's not going to shave as well as when you use the tool the way it was designed to be used. So that's my bit on overall angle and taping of the spine. By the way, there is one razor that I will tape with one layer of tape, and that is a razor that's made from Damascus steel. And the reason I do that is because if you've spent the money for a good Damascus blade, and I mean you'll be spending $400 or $500, then the etch is what brings out the pattern in the Damascus. If you tape the spine, you'll retain that etch right down the spine. If you don't, then it'll make a shiny spine on a Damascus etched blade, and it doesn't look very good, and that's the only reason. Now, the first time I ran into this where it was, dealing with a customer who was absolutely out of his mind, was a fellow who had bought a Mastro Levy Damascus straight razor, and it was several $1,000s, and he sent it off to someone, and they didn't tape the spine, and he sent it back to the owner, and the owner was just went berserk. So he sent it to me, and I got everything fixed. I re-etched the spine so that it looked like the rest of the blade, and then decided ever after that if I get Damascus blades in, I will tape them. But that's the only time I'll ever tape a spine. I highly recommend not taping spines and using the overall angle that the engineers who designed the razor intended. And that's my spiel on overall angle and taping. Thank you.